Well, I made the drive to Manitoba today and wasn't expecting to get in the stand, but when I got here, my friend Tom Ainsworth of Grandview Outfitting says, let's get you out there. These deer are coming out in the field every night. Matter of fact, it's a little after 6 o'clock here. I just got in the stand and I got does working into the hayfield out here already. This is a hunt that I get to be kind of a guinea pig, and it started last year. Now, I've killed a lot of really nice bears with Tom. And he also does rifle hunts in the rifle season later in November, and he's killed some fantastic bucks. Well, I would see these deer out in his hayfields. He has 1,600 acres, and I would see these bucks out in his hayfields in the early season, August and early September, when I was here bear hunting. And so he offered to let me be a guinea pig and see if there's enough of a quality hunt here for early season archery. Well, there definitely is. Last year I came in here and saw quite a few nice shooter bucks, including one 10-pointer that I just fell in love with. I hunted him every day, and I saw him all 6 days of my hunt, and I named him Lucky after the 5th day. It started out that I would sit in a stand over here, and he'd come out over there, and then I'd sit over there, and he'd come out in this one over here. And finally on the 5th day, he was coming down the trail that I was on a stand. And as he was coming, I could see him about 40 yards away back in the bush, and I reached up to take my bow off the hanger, and some does that had come in the field in front of me, I didn't know they were there. They snorted and stomped and ruined that, and that's the day I named him Lucky. So I ended up shooting a real nice buck. It wasn't the Big Ten, but it was a decent buck, and there are several more deer this year. They had a pretty bad die-off here due to harsh winter here a couple 3 years ago. So there's a pretty large number of 3- and 4-year-old bucks right now, and I got deer out in the hayfield right over here. So I got to end this, but I just wanted to give you the background so you understood where I'm coming from here. I'm going to be here for a few days, and hopefully one of these big ones will come out. Lucky is apparently back on camera. I haven't seen his trail camera pictures yet, but he's got 2 pretty nice 10-pointers that have been coming out in this field every evening, and several more deer as well. So we'll see if we're in the right place at the right time. Here we go. He's out there about 80 yards now. It's almost probably closer to 100. Well, it's day 2, and I got some good news and bad news. You saw that 10-point buck in full velvet approaching a moment ago, and I have a story to tell about that. Unfortunately, it's the bad news. He came across the field, came right to me. That was the smaller of the 2 10-pointers that I have pictures of on this field, and they had a small 8-point, and both of them were in full velvet, and I just thought, wow, I've always wanted a deer in full velvet. So I decided to take a shot, and when he got close, then I have to stand up to draw the bow because there's a rail around the front of this ladder stand. And I stood up when he was out there a ways, but I had to adjust my feet a little bit and then draw. And when I did, he just locked right on me. I drew when he moved his head, but he locked right on me, and he was just wound tight. And if you know anything about bow hunting, you know that when these deer are really on edge like that, they can hear the string and drop before the arrow gets there, and that's exactly what happened. And unfortunately, the arrow just went through the upper the back part of his neck, I guess you'd say, and it just is a flesh wound. We did spend some time this morning looking for blood and trying to find out if he might have bedded up there, but he just walked off and actually fed a little bit and then trotted to the top of the hill and stood there for 15 minutes looking back. So it was pretty clear to me that he was not a killing shot. I'm back in the same stand. I got a pretty bad wind for this stand if the deer come from my left, but if they come from my right, which is the direction that the bigger buck has been coming from, then I should be all right. And he came in last night right at last light, and it was pretty dark for videography. I don't think I could have got a video of him. I didn't even turn the camera on. Plus I had just shot that buck and I was uncertain about the shot, and so I elected to pass the big one, and he's not in full velvet, he's hard-horned, but it just seemed like the ethical thing to do is to wait until I found out for sure about the other bucks. So that might come back to haunt me, we'll see. I got him. I got him. Looked like a good shot. Well, Lucky's luck just ran out. I felt like I got a really good hit on him, but I was really shocked that he ran about 100 yards and he stood there for a second, then he laid down. His head started to sag, and I thought, okay, he's done for right there. But then he got to his feet and just kind of hunched up and walked into the bush. I don't know, it's really weird. The shot looked really good. I'm going to review the shot, but man, he's a beautiful buck. And the crazy thing was, I didn't even see him coming. I was just filming a bunch of does feeding right out in front of me. There's just a cluster of them here in this corner of the field. And I looked up and I saw two smaller bucks coming in, so I started filming them, and then all of a sudden, whoa, the big one just walked into frame, and I'm like, holy cow, there he is. That's Lucky. And he is a big buck. So, we got a fair amount of daylight left here. I got to review the footage and decide what to do. We might wait till dark or give him a couple hours anyway. The fact that he got back up kind of freaks me out. I mean, a deer that looks like he's double lunged, and then he goes and flops down, just lays right down like that, 100 yards from the shot. You just don't see him get back up. That's really strange. But so hopefully the next time you see me, I'll be kneeling behind a really, really big buck. Well, there he is. Quite a track job. Well, it was a long track job, much longer than I anticipated it to be, but we found him this morning, and he's a really good buck. I'm very excited about him. Just had a fantastic hunt here, saw so many deer, and thanks so much to Tom Ainsworth and for taking good care of the deer in this area. And he's just got fantastic both deer and bear hunting here. So we got some work cut out for us we are in some thick bush here, so we really got our work cut out for us getting him out of here, but it'll be worth it, I'm sure.